there, it's Mrs. Ferris from Wood Library, and welcome to our Storytime Online. Have you ever heard the phrase, a dog is a man's best friend? Well, Winston here has, and he thought it would be nice if we had stories today all about, not dogs, friends. So let's start with our first one. It's called A Splendid Friend Indeed. It's written and illustrated by Suzanne Bloom, and it's published by Boyds Press, and our copy is actually autographed by the author because I got to meet her one time. And it stars, as you might have seen, Bear and Goose. And there goes Goose. What are you doing? Are you reading? I like to read. Do you want to hear me read? Now what are you doing? Writing? I like to write. Do you want to see me write? What are you doing now? Thinking? Thinking makes me hungry. Are you hungry? I think I'll go make a snack. I'm back. I made a snack. I wrote a note. I'll read it to you. I like you. Indeed I do. You are my splendid friend. Why, thank you, said Bear. I like you too. Indeed I do. You are my splendid friend. My splendid friend indeed. And there are the two splendid friends sitting together, having the snack. Let's do a finger play. And let's do two little blackbirds. Two little blackbirds were sitting on the hill. One was named Jack and one was named Jill. Fly away, Jack. Fly away, Jill. Come back, Jack. Come back, Jill. Let's do it again because that was a quick one. Two little blackbirds were sitting on a hill. One named Jack and one named Jill. Fly away, Jack. Fly away, Jill. Come back, Jack. Come back, Jill. Our next story is by Carle, and it's called, Do You Want to Be My Friend? Now, I don't know if you can see who's asking the question, but way down in the corner is a little mouse. And he's talking to the elephant. Let's find out if they can be friends. This book is published by Harper. There's Mouse again. Do you want to be my friend? Do you see who he's asking? All I can see is a tail. Whose tail do you think that could be? Why, it was Horse's tail. But Horse was too busy eating, so Mouse went on. Do you want to be my friend? He asked these tails. Who do you think they belong to? Oh, crocodile and bird. But they didn't answer. There's another tail. Do you know what animal has a tail like that? Do you want to be my friend? He asked that tail. That belonged to Lion. Lion didn't answer. Do you want to be my friend? He asked this tail. Who could have a tail like that? Hippopotamus. Hippo just grinned. So Mouse went on. Do you want to be my friend? He asked this tail. It was a seal. too busy. How about this tail? Who do you think that could belong to? Do you want to be my friend? He asked that tail. Did you guess? A monkey? And then he came to this tail. Do you want to be my friend? He asked. I bet you know what kind of an animal has that kind of a tail. It's a bird? A peacock, yes. Peacock didn't answer. Do you want to be my friend? He asked this tail. Who has a bushy red tail like that? Fox. Do you want to be my friend? He asked this long, long tail. That belonged to Kangaroo, but she was too busy with her baby. Do you want to be my tail? He asked. Do you want to be my friend? He asked this tail that was way up high. Giraffe. Mouse just went on and on until, did you even notice that? There was a little tiny tail right there. Do you want to be my friend? He asked that tail. And that tail belonged to Mouse. And Mouse said, yes. So the two mice were friends, and they ran and hid in the trunk of a tree because this tail that we've been seeing all the way through belonged to Snake. Do you think Snake wanted to be their friend? I think Snake wanted them to be his dinner. But they weren't his dinner. They shared dinner, though, the two friends down in the bottom under the tree. Just right kind of friend, don't you think? Well, can you put your hand up like this? Like it's a great big tall grandfather clock. And down at your elbow, can you put your fingers and pretend they're a mouse? And we're going to do hickory dickory dock. Hickory dickory dock. The mouse went up the clock. The clock struck one and the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock. Well, our next story is about a little chick who's looking for a friend. Peepsqueak Wants a Friend is the title of this book. It's written and illustrated by Leslie Ann Clark. And it's published by Harper. As the sun came up over the farm, all the baby chicks went running into the yard to play. 2 by 2, 2 by 2, 2 by 2. Peepsqueak ran out too. Then he came to a stop. He was only one. I need a friend, he called. Peepsqueak looked around and saw everyone running in pairs. So he hopped and skipped and ran out of the barnyard and into the woods in search of a friend. 2 baby chicks gasped, "Don't go into the woods, Peepsqueak." But Peepsqueak said, "You are 2, but I am 1. My search for a friend has just begun." So then Peepsqueak hopped, skipped, jumped, and skittered down the path. And there on the path were footprints, very big footprints. Peepsqueak skidded to a stop. This could be a friend, he thought. A very, very big friend. Then Peepsqueak hopped, skipped, jumped, and skittered down the path, looking for his very, very big friend, whoever that might be. Now along the way, Peepsqueak met up with 2 hedgehogs. "Are these your footprints?" asked Peepsqueak. "No," said the hedgehogs. "They're too big for us. You'd better not go any farther," they added. But Peepsqueak said, "You are 2, but I am 1. My search for a friend has just begun." Then Peepsqueak hopped, skipped, jumped, and skittered down the path. A little while later, it began to rain. 2 red birds flying overhead called to Peepsqueak, "It's raining, it's pouring, and you had better go home," they said. "I don't mind," said Peepsqueak. "You are 2, but I am 1. My search for a friend has just begun." So then Peepsqueak hopped, skipped, jumped, and skittered down the path. You see, he used a leaf for his umbrella. Down the road, Peepsqueak ran farther into the woods, jumping over puddles and skipping over holes. 2 raccoons stood under a bush eating some apples. "It's lunchtime, Peepsqueak," they said. "You better go home." Peepsqueak said, "You are 2, but I am 1. My search for a friend has just begun." Then Peepsqueak hopped, skipped, jumped, and skittered down the path. Still following those footprints. Now the big footprints continued through the tall trees and ended at the entrance to a dark cave. Peepsqueak peeked inside. "Hello, friend," he called. "Hello, hello, hello." Peepsqueak paused for a moment. Then he hopped, skipped, jumped, and skittered into the cold, dark cave. Now back at the farm, the baby chicks played all day. 2 by 2, they jumped rope. 2 by 2, they played with trucks. 2 by 2, they danced. And then they heard a noise coming from the woods. It sounded like a growling noise mixed with a tiny peeping sound. 2 by 2, 2 by 2, 2 by 2, the chicks looked at one another and gasped, "Grrr, peep, peep, peep." And then into the barnyard came Peepsqueak with his new friend. A great big bear. "We are 2, yelled Peepsqueak. Well, all the animals scattered, but Peepsqueak and Big Bear, why, they hopped, skipped, jumped, and skittered around the barnyard. And Peepsqueak yelled, "Friends don't just come in 2s. Real friends make room for all." And you know, that's just what his new friend did. Should we do our bear going over the mountain? Can you sit up nice and tall? And put your hand on your shoulder, and that's going to be your bear. And you're going to be the mountain. The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain to see what he could see. To see what he could see. To see what he could see. Put him back up there. Because what did he see? The other side of the mountain. The other side of the mountain. The other side of the mountain was all that he could see. Well, we're going to have a story with another bear, but not a big, very big brown bear, but a panda bear. This is a story about Mr. Panda. It's called "We Love You, Mr. Panda," and it's written and illustrated by Steve Antony. Oh, look at inside. Look at all those balloons. And this is published by Scholastic Press. "Free hugs" is what the shirt reads. And who's wearing it? Mr. Panda. "I need a hug," said Skunk. "Okay, Skunk, let's have a hug," said Mr. Panda. Oh, I was talking to Croc." "I love you, Croc," said Skunk. "I love you too," said Croc. with a clothespin on his nose. May I please have a hug? Asked Elephant. Okay, Elephant, let's have a hug, said Mr. Panda. Oh, I was talking to Mouse. I love you, Mouse. I love you too, said Mouse. So Mr. Panda went up in his plane with a sign that said, "Free hugs." "Would you like a hug, Sloth?" "No, thanks, Mr. Panda. I can hug myself." Well then, a whole flock of sheep came crossing the road, and each one of them said, "Hug me, hug 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 me." "Okay, sheep," said Mr. Panda, "let's have a hug." "Oh, we were talking to Ostrich. We love you, Ostrich." "I love you all too," Ostrich said. "I guess nobody wants my hugs." "Don't go, Mr. Panda. Would you like a hug?" "No, I would not like a hug." "I would love a hug. Thank you." "And so would we," said all the others. "We love you, Mr. Panda." And indeed they did. Lemur and Penguin knew that he really needed a hug. Not just to give, but to get. And that's the nice thing about hugs. They go both ways. Well, let's see. Shall we do a finger play about? Should we have our monkeys jumping on the bed? Can you get your monkeys ready? Get your hand all ready as a bed. "I've got 5 little monkeys. They're jumping on the bed. When one fell off, well, he bumped his head. Now his mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, 'No more monkeys jumping on the bed.' So she'll be 4. 4 little monkeys were jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. Well, Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, 'No more monkeys jumping on the bed.' So that means 3 little monkeys were jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. Well, Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, 'No more monkeys jumping on the bed.' So that means 2 little monkeys were jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, 'No more monkeys jumping on the bed.' So now 1 little monkey is jumping on the bed. When she fell off, oh, she bumped her head. Her mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, 'No more monkeys jumping on the bed.'" So no more monkeys. But we have one more book. This is called A Friend for Mole. It's written and illustrated by Nancy Armo. Do you know anything about moles? They live under the ground. You can see him peeking out here. This book is published by Peachtree. Mole was quite fond of his cozy burrow. He liked his soft bed of leaves, the warm smell of the earth, and the quiet darkness all around. Snug underground, he felt the activity above him. Tapping rain, buzzing insects, scampering footsteps, all these sounds helped Mole imagine the world outside. Now one day, Mole heard a loud shouting and laughter overhead. His burrow shook and dirt drifted down from the ceiling. What was happening? He decided to take a peek. The bright, loud noises and the new smells were overwhelming. Mole blinked and rubbed his eyes. Oh no, he thought. This was a bad idea. Mole tried to get back to his home, but he couldn't find the opening. He panicked and began to run, but then he tripped over a root and went tumbling through the air right into a bush. Now inside it was dark and quiet. There he is. And it reminded him of home. Mole was exhausted, and before he knew it, he had fallen asleep. When Mole woke up, it was night. He heard a rustling noise. Something was out there. Oh no, thought Mole. Please don't be something scary. Do you see the eyes? Mole closed his eyes and pretended not to be there. But it was too late. Are you afraid of the dark too? A voice whimpered. What? Mole blinked. Oh, no, he whispered. I'm afraid of the light. Mole felt bolder. Who are you? He asked. I'm me, the creature said. I'm Wolf. Some animals were chasing me, and I ran away, and now I'm lost. And I'm scared. Well, now, Mole was surprised because Wolf was afraid too. What could they do? They thought and thought, and then they both said, I think I can help you, at the very same time. I'll stay with you a while. Well, while it's dark, said Mole. And I'll help you find your way home in the morning, Wolf said. And they both agreed it was an excellent plan. Now Mole and Wolf felt very brave, so to pass the time they made up all kinds of games. Wolf showed Mole how to hunt imaginary slithering creatures. And Mole taught Wolf how to stamp on pretend scampering bugs. Stamp, stamp, stamp. But the best game of all was chasing away scary monsters. They were both very good at that. It was all so much fun that they forgot all about being lost and scared. The sun rose over the horizon, and suddenly Mole thought about home. Wolf was also feeling homesick. It's time to be on our way, he said. So together they searched for Mole's burrow and Wolf's den. Wolf used his big tail as a shade over Mole's eyes to keep away the bright sun, and his soft fur was tickly. Mole giggled. Soon Mole could smell familiar scents, and he knew they must be close to his home. Is this your burrow? Wolf asked. Yes, yes, cheered Mole. I'm home. But now Mole felt sad because it was time to say goodbye. Will you be okay? He asked Wolf. I'll be fine, said Wolf. I can see the big trees that are near my den. I live really close to here. Mole realized that he would miss his new friend. Can we play again sometime soon? He asked. Yes, shouted Wolf. That was so much fun. I was scared, but having you there made everything okay. And Mole knew exactly what Wolf meant. Isn't it nice to have a friend? I think so. Well, can you wiggle your fingers? and wiggle your toes. Wiggle your shoulders, and how about your nose? Can you wiggle your elbows and slap your knees and stretch your arms? And get ready, please, because it's time for a little fun on the flannel board. And this is a story called, well, A Friend. Once upon a time, there was a snail. I'm going to pull him over just a little bit so you can see him better. I'm lonely, he said. I want a friend. Well, just then, Ant ran by. Will you be my friend? Snail asked. Oh, not now, said Ant. It's going to rain and I'm going to hide in my hole, but, well, you can come with me. No, said Snail. My shell won't fit in your hole. Sorry, said Ant, and he hurried on. Well, next, Grasshopper came hopping by. Maybe this is a friend, thought Snail. Will you be my friend, Grasshopper? He asked. Oh, not now, said Grasshopper. It's going to rain. I have to hop under a leaf to keep my wings dry, but why don't you come with me? Oh, I can't, said Snail. My shell won't hop. Oh, well, sorry, said Grasshopper, and he hopped away. Nobody wants a friend with a shell, said Snail. A shell can't hop. A shell can't fit in a hole. Next along came a baby robin. Robin, will you be my friend? Asked Snail. Oh, not now, said Robin. It's going to rain and I have to fly to my nest. But why don't you come with me? Oh, I can't, said Snail. My shell won't fly. Well, try, said the robin. So Snail tried, but he couldn't fly. You see, a snail is stuck, he said. Sorry, said the robin, and he flew away. Oh, nobody wants a friend with a shell, sighed Snail. A shell can't hop, a shell can't fly, a shell won't fit in a hole, and I'm so lonely. Well, then it began to rain. Shall we add some raindrops? It's raining, and I have no friend. I have no place to go, said Snail. All I have is this silly old shell. If I could, I would kick it. Well, that's silly, said a voice. And Snail looked up, and who did he see? The turtle. Why am I silly, said Snail. Well, all you have to do to get out of the rain, said Turtle, is, well, pull your head inside. That's what a shell is for. A shell keeps off the rain. Robin has a nest. Ant has a hole. You have a shell, and so do I. Why, I never thought of that, said Snail. Now I do have a place to go. And you have a friend, said Turtle. Ah, yes. I have a shell and I have a friend. So Snail pulled himself inside and Turtle did the same. And the two friends, Snail and Turtle, sat side by side, safely inside their shell, listening to the raindrops falling. It's always nice to have a friend. So those are our stories, and I hope you learned how much fun it is to have a friend. And it's good to be a friend, too. So my friend named Winston and I are going to say thank you for being our friends here today. We hope you'll come and see us at the library and enjoy some stories at home. Bye-bye.